Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you and welcome to From Seed to System. This is where I got an echo. This is where bold conversations bloom and strategy takes root. I'm your host, Cicely McLennan, and I am a global strategist, a Afrofuturist mama, a cultural cultivator, and the founder of GenAg LLC. And I am going from healing foods and farmers markets to international trade and wellness retreats. I build systems that nourish the body, empower communities, and connect continents, and really connect us to the continent. So this podcast is for visionaries. This is for the doers. This is for the builders. And this is for the bold. So let's go and let's grow something together. So today we have Dr. Na on the line. Now, just to, give her a super bold introduction. This is my people right here. Okay. As I noted when I invited everybody to join us today, we are both something else by ourselves, but together, let's go ahead and show the people. We don't just talk about it. We are doers. Welcome, Dr. Na. Thank you. This show is this show is going to be so lit. So lit.
I'm so excited. You don't even know how much, but I'm just happy to be with you. And you said my people. So that's what I want to hear. You're my people too.
Every time we get together, something really great happens. I remember the first time, thank God you reached out to me. And I was on your podcast, the Black Queen Show. And so from there, it's just been like a uphill, and we just keep building stronger. Yes, man. Yes. So believe it or not, when I was doing your thing where you described the person, and I said, oh, well, she's a cultural anthropologist. And so somebody was like, what is that? So I want you to, because this is America. Some of our audiences in America, some will be other places too. But here they have a thing where they kind of dumb things down to third grade, sixth grade level, because unfortunately, that's where a lot of people are at, and that's where they can understand. So I want you to give us about your background and explain to us what is a cultural anthropologist.
Okay, I love that, because if I can get a penny for every time somebody asks me, what is that? I think I will be a millionaire by now, but it's okay. I'm okay with it, because to be honest, when I heard about it, I was like, huh? What's that? So let me tell you the story, how I fell in love with cultural anthropology. Growing up in Africa, as you know, I'm from Ghana, and yes. I grew up, and when we do history classes in, at school, social studies, I think that's what you guys call it, we will read about the slave trade, and it's like a page, and it's just nothing much than showing our people how they were captured and, like meek people, and they were just taken away. And so as a child, I thought, okay, this is not my lifetime. This is a long time ago. I didn't feel a connection to it, right? So here I come to America, and I'm at school. And when I was let me just tell the story how it is. So when I was in Ghana, there was a European child that came to my school. And all my friends, everybody wanted to be friends with this girl. It was exciting, to see somebody like her, because of the things they have told us about those people and the fact that, should I say it? Let me just say it to you, Black folks in America. Let me say it to you. We grew up in Africa being told that white people are better than us, like they are our gods, Literally, today we're gonna break it down. I mean, I'm not gonna hold
break
back.
it.
Okay,
break it.
I have been told, when I did research on how Africans, or at least in Ghana, how they perceive white people or white-skinned people, a lady told me, a grown-up woman, about 90 years old, she looked at me and said, my dear, I don't even understand why you are asking me these questions about white people. Do you know that if you are going to church and you see a white person, you should turn around and go home because you have seen your God? And I literally had to leave her. I left her. I'm a researcher. I'm professional. So I had to leave my equipment, everything. And I went to the back and I cried. I cried because I'm growing up in a culture where we respect our elders. Now, as you can see, I'm young, not that young, but I mean, I've seen enough in life. But I'm like, if at the age of 90, this woman is telling me this is what she's telling all the young children around, all the African children around.
For 90 years.
In my culture, we are, it's part of our culture to respect our elders. So what they tell us is what we do. To be honest, we don't question it. Okay. So I said, we have a big problem here, right? Because mind you, when you are there, you don't think about these things. You don't think about, slavery, because, when you are colonized, they don't bring you those topics, right? Me, Cicely, as you know, they just make sure that your system is all messed up so that all you can focus on is what? Food and shelter and all the basics. You're not about to talk about big things. You're about to talk about revolution. You're not ready to talk about this kind of thing. So I'm like, we have a problem. So I did my research and I came back and I'm like, I'm in America. Like I'll go back to the story. So when I was in school, I came to America and I'm like, all these white kids are going to be so happy to be my friend and everything, just like, how my African friends wanted to be the friends with the white child. And I came here and they're like, who are you? I unfortunately, I did not arrive to the black neighborhoods in America. I was in a white school. Okay. I was one and my brother, and I think there's 3 other black kids. So there's 5 black kids in this big school. And I'm telling you, the kind of reception I got, and I started thinking, I said, what is going on here? How is she going to come to my country and everybody wants to be friends with her? And then I come to their country and I'm like strange. You know what I'm saying? And they ask me questions about, how does it feel like to play with the monkeys and climb the trees? And, how does it feel to wear clothes? This is like 1993. I'm telling my age, aren't I? This is like 1993. And I'm like, wait a minute. We learn about you in school. So how come you guys are not learning about us in school? What kind of ignorant questions are these? So at first I was very upset because I thought they were just being rude. But the more and more I learned their history, I realized no, these people are just speaking facts. They never even met a black person from America, let alone a black person from me. So I'm like National Geography live for them, right? They want to take my hand and tell me that why the palm of my arm is like lighter than the back of my. It's like, hello, 1993. So I was very upset. And I was very upset because I thought this work had already been done. 1993, I thought the work had already been done, that I, as a black person, an African, going everywhere I want to go in the world, I should not have to be answering questions like why my skin is darker than the palm of my arm. Why is it that, or what is it like to play with the monkeys and all those things? Listen, we have cities in Africa. Okay. Cities developed in Africa way before civilization started on the continent, so that we all get it right. I lived in a city. I never lived in the jungle. I'm from Accra. It's a big city. Okay. I've never seen a lion. Asking me about lions. I'm like, well, if I see a lion, me and you, we're both running, because the lion is not my friend. I didn't grow up playing with lions. I'm from the city. I walk close from childhood. So all these questions you're telling me, I've come to think about it. This is what they are watching on National Geography and all those sort of things. This is 1993. Unfortunately, this is 2025. Guess what? People are there still with these notions. And the sad thing for me is that not what they think, but what my people. Now, I'm going to say my people, you can debate it anyhow you want it. You are my people. You can reject me and say, I am not African. whatever you want to say, that's fine. Come get me. I'm ready for you. I'm going to say that because it's time. And now I'm hearing all these things. Oh, I ain't African because my hair is this and blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. When they see you, they see me, whether you like it or not. Whether whether you're lighter than me, whether your hair is relaxed, whatever it is, when they see you, they know you.
That's right. So how does that, so I'm taking it that these are the types of experiences that led you on a journey to pursue cultural anthropology on a high level, because we're talking about a high level. So you're not just talking about this stuff. You have actually done research, I'm sure all over the world, and you know exactly what you're talking about and are an expert in your field. So I'm seeing that these past experiences and these challenges that you saw led you on this path. So how does the study of cultural anthropology, how does that, like inform you, and how does that shape how you address these challenges?
I love you so much because you are like my soul sister. We say soul sister, but this woman, she's me. She's me born in America. That's it. And I'm her born in Africa. You know what I'm saying? The ancestors have come through us,
yes,
our past
yes.
life. But thank you for bringing me back, because she knows when I get going, my brain. So cultural anthropology. So when I went to college, I wanted to study human genetics because I was very excited about sickle cell and I wanted to know more about it. So yeah, I go to college, I'm doing my science, prerequisite biology, this and this. They're still asking me all these silly questions. About, the monkeys and all that. I'm like, okay, let me focus. I came here to do this. So I'm there and I'm taking science classes, and I took a psychology course, and I'm like, okay, there's something here. let's keep listening, right? So I'm focusing. Then somebody talked to me about cultural anthropology, and I'm like, cultural, okay. So they have cultural anthropology, and these people are not learning about different cultures. Okay, let me take a class and go find out what it's all about. So I did. There I was. I'm sitting in a class and they're talking about me. Talking about me. My people. And I'm like, okay, you have some rights. Because the thing is that we as Africans, we are not one people. And that's Mrs. Lino. Even Ghana alone. So the anthropology, I just fell in love with it because I'm like, this is the kind of questions they're asking me. You know what I'm saying? And they need answers. So let me just say that they don't know. They're not being rude. They just don't know. So let me see what it's all about. So I started reading about it, and I'm like, okay. At that time, they were reading about a lady from one of the small tribes in Southern Africa, right? Mm-hmm. They were reading about her and her story, and I'm like, okay, I guess I need to tell them my story. But I really fell in love with cultural anthropology because I'm like, you mean I can teach people about these things and get paid? This should have been done a long time ago.
So
and then the thing is that
I have a question about that. So you looked at cultural anthropology kind of as a way to help address the problems that you encountered. So I'm going to feed this system with more information, more research about what Africa is, what is the real deal behind African cultures, because obviously these people don't have, good information.
Yes, you are so right. So that's exactly what I decided to do. And so let's just get it clear, because if you ask me, are you okay? Why aren't you studying business? Why aren't you studying medicine? Why aren't you doing law? Why are you doing nursing? Excuse me. Is that all Africa, is that all we're good for? Nurses and health professionals, blah, blah, blah. What about the intellectuals? These social anthropologists and cultural anthropologists, they make decisions. They write about Africa. So that's why I went into it. So let's just get what it is. Cultural anthropology is the study of cultures. It's a study of people. So basically, I tell everybody, I study everything, because everything that people do, the way you brush your teeth, the way you think something is beautiful, the type of food that you think is edible, the type of leaves, the way you have sex, the type of sex that is approved in your culture, everything that human beings do is cultural anthropology. And yes, there's a part of anthropology. A lot of people think bones. Okay, so anthropology, there's 4 different fields in anthropology. We have the cultural anthropology, we have even biological anthropology, we also have archaeological, and then we have even linguistics. Those are all part of cultural anthropology.
Okay.
Now, archaeologists, they deal with ancient civilizations. Okay, that's where we get the bones. I think there's an Indiana Jones or something like that movie that was made, and so people heard, okay, archaeology. I don't dig bones. My ancestors, they speak to me whilst I'm living. I don't dig the bones. I don't dig the bones. So I study cultures, okay? And this is the thing. When I got into the field, a lot of times I'm in a group of anthropologists, cultural anthropologists, and I'm the only Black person. I'm like, shouldn't more of my people be represented here, since they are making decisions about what happens to my people? So don't get me wrong. I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't have a silver spoon. I didn't have the golden spoon in my mouth for feeding, whatever you want to say. But I realized that, listen, if Nkrumah did not step up out of his comfort zone and dealt with things, Ghana will still not be independent.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I had to put my drive to make a lot of money, to take care of my family and all those things. Yeah. I had to. It's a sacrifice, but I made that sacrifice, and it has cost me dearly.
Yes, ma'am. I know about the cost. I know about the cost, but it's okay, because this now that we have established that part, I want to move us into talking about the business that you are doing and some of the current projects. So I know, because yours is a little like mine, so things are intertwined. We can't really separate, the study and the research from the business, because as you and I both, we don't just talk about things. We are building things and creating impact with the things that we are building. So I want you to talk about, the financial part. And then we're going to move into more about, the current projects that you're working on that I think build on top of the financial, your role as a financial advisor. Yeah. So I had a picture. I'm going to try to pull it up if I can while you're talking.
Okay. All right. So I guess you want me to mention the finance a little bit. Okay. So this is the thing. Again. I also need money, because if you know anything about Africans, our families are not just lean. It's not nuclear. It's not just dad, mom, and children. Okay. Our families are everybody, auntie, uncle. Even when you marry into a family, they also become your family. So in terms of money, trust me, I need it too. But as a cultural anthropologist, I went to school, I accumulated a lot of loans because nobody was teaching me what I was doing to myself. They gave me the loan, I took it, which happens to a lot of Americans, not only Africans, okay? So this is the thing. So you finish school and you think, okay, I'm going to make big money right away and pay back. That didn't happen. Okay, as you know, here the colonizer that's their seat, and I'm trying to get one of the seats, right? So me getting a position as a cultural anthropologist to teach at the university that I want, it wasn't coming very fast. Okay, because a lot of times I will apply for a job about teaching about Africa, and somebody who is not an African will get a job. You know it. Somebody told me, sister, you never heard there's that thing as a PhD and Black. And I'm like, well, nobody told me. So I'm Black, a PhD, too much knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm sure they want me to be teaching what they are teaching. But of course, as I come across, people tell me I'm a little bit of a militant or revolutionary. Yes, I am. Because sometimes I get very, very upset. Okay? That I have to answer certain questions upon all the work that Malcolm X have done, and Martin Luther King and Kwame Nkrumah, and other people who led the path. So there's more work to be done, right? But what I learned about finance in America is that not knowing about finance can really, really hurt you. And
Come on.
Personally, I don't know, but I'm so sick and tired of poverty looking like me.
I heard
Because I
this
cannot
guy.
accept that.
I heard this guy say something, and this is like a whole thing in psychology. You might know the name of it, and it's something like, you don't know what you don't know, and what you don't know could be the deciding factor in your life or death. And so that's
That's
exactly what
true.
you are describing right now. Not knowing is really not an option, and it's not an excuse, and it will not save you. So we have to seek the knowledge. We all have to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that bothered me most is that whenever they will show picture of poverty, it looks like me, and it
Right.
looks like you, and it
Right.
looks brown most of the time. Maybe that's what the media wants to put out there. But I've also gone a little bit into the hoods in America, not too much, because when you come here, they really, really prevent you from getting close to Black folks who are in the hood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, this is something a lot of people don't know about. And if you reach outside of your circle and meet people from other countries, and you are, kind of with them and friends with them while they're going through the immigration process, that's the only way you will learn that these are purposefully orchestrated. And in the background of the purposeful orchestration are psychologists, psychiatrists, anthropologists, sociologists. They're the ones that are backing up these moves to separate us, that are put together and actually put in place by the State Department and other agencies part of the U.S. government. So a lot of people don't know that there's a purposeful effort to keep us away from each other. That I don't know which of us who have volunteered to help them do that. I'm sure they have some volunteers, but I definitely see that as something that comes from the higher levels of the U.S. government and whoever is behind that. So that's an important point that you are bringing up. And it's better you than me, because sometimes, I'm local, I'm from here. People don't hear my voice. They don't think that I have the experience of that. But you directly are telling us, this is not hearsay. This is not what you heard. This is not what you read in a book. This is the expert. And not only is she studied it, but she has lived it. And she's telling you that things are being done in the background to keep us from connecting with each other. And I don't know about other people, but when I see somebody trying to keep me away from something that I think is good for me, I fight. I don't settle. I don't accept that, and I never will. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a real important point. So, moving into the business aspect. Oh, my sons are screaming in the background. That's so classic. It's classic.
She's a mother. It's all right. She's a mother.
Okay. So anyway, the point is,
that's a true Black queen, right? That's a true Black queen. We always doing stuff. We always doing many things, but it's all good. It's in our nature. You're right.
So, but I want us to talk, about, so you're building your business around financial literacy and that type of thing. Now, what are the systems? Now we moving from seed to systems, right? So what are the systems that we are, putting in place in order to build on top of the literacy? So it's one thing, according to G.I. Joe in the cartoons, knowing is half the battle. So the other half is us actually putting that to work. So I want us to come into, because I want to talk about my favorite project, into current developments that we are working on to bring all this information into something that we can use. So, talk about that and your Pan-African connections, how you are working things, and, creating some foundational systems for us to build on.
Okay, so first let me say that I'm just happy. And I just want to say if you're Black, if you look like me, if you look like Miss Cicely, if you're in between, we don't care. We claim you as one of our own. You can reject us, you can run. But hey, when they see you, they see me. They see Miss Cicely. So the fight is on. So I want to say that if you're Black and you look like us, Listen, be excited because things are about to change. Okay,
Yes,
we have seen where the problem lies, and things are about to change. But it's gonna take both of us. Okay, so I'm gonna get into it. So here I'm starting with the financial literacy because I'm tired of you looking like me and being broke. You don't have to be. You don't have to die as a poor person just because we're born poor. Because
yes,
right
ma'am.
now, all the knowledge and things that have been kept from us, thank goodness to the internet, right? You just have to say Google, and Google, you can even talk to Google and it will tell you things, right? I'm not saying believe everything Google says, but at least you can hear something and then you can probe and dig more into it, okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now, Africans and African Americans, please, whatever the beef is, squash it. There is no beef. And I'm going to speak to that before I jump into what we really want to talk about working together, okay, Mrs. Lee? Because that is something that
that's good.
something that needs to be addressed. It bothers me because I know when I talk to my people who are, recently, migrated Africans, because of the things they learn about Black Americans, they come with their own preconceived notions because they watch my people here being thugs and criminals. Who do you see on TV whenever somebody's been arrested? Who do you see whenever there's something wrong? It's like maybe you've lived it so much that it's become normalized. But it's not okay. What about the decent African Americans who are out there feeding their children, doing the right thing, doing the right professionals, right? What about them? Why are we not seeing them, right? So that our children in the hood can also look and say, hey, I can also become somebody. Okay? So I want to address this. I don't have any problem with you. We have a difference because, yes, there's been 400 years of separation. That's fine. It's going to happen, right? But don't use that as an excuse to say, well, I'm not them and they are me. Because everything that pretty much you learn about us as Africans or in Africa, trust me, you need to go find out for yourself. And then I'm going to speak to the Africans, the recently migrated Africans. Please stop this about they. Until you open your mouth and you speak with your accent, nobody knows.
That's right.
They see you as until I talk, you don't know that I wasn't born here, right? So everything you've been told about them, reach out. And I must say the same thing to my African Americans over here, because sometimes the approach is so hostile. It's too hostile. You don't have to live what they say about you. Okay, let's all put down the arms now. We're the same people. Trust me, the same blood. That's why when you do a DNA African American, you find out that they are connected to Nigeria, Ghana, Somalia, wherever. Okay, those of you who are saying, well, I'm not African, blah, blah, blah. I challenge you, come to the table, let's do a DNA. Let me not see any African, link from you, and then I'm going to exclude you. Fine, you can go on your way and be Indian or whatever you want to claim, right? I'm not saying that there's not some origins who were Black from here, because yes, Africans did travel, right? They sailed, we know that. That's fine. But they see you as me, and your descendants were people like me. So either way, we're the same. We're in the same boat. You have to join to fight your common enemy, right? So with that said, we are putting a lot of projects, but we want to, I'm calling on the big shots, Oprah Winfrey. You say you've been doing all kinds of work in South Africa. Fine. You got more money than that. I'm not talking about just educating them to continue to stay in the system. No, we're talking about a system, but the system needs to change, okay? How about putting your money and the big ballers, doing this, they're doing this. You're still Black, you still have some African connection. So come home, bring your money. We have everything you need in Africa. We have oil, we have cocoa, we have gold, we have everything that people are using in the West. It's coming from our land. So if anybody is going to make money off of our land, should it not be you, my sisters and brothers over here? And I know that you're all not broke. I know you are not all broke.
That's for sure. Okay.
You are big pockets. I mean, I'm talking about money. Yeah. Money. Put your money in the right places. I know someone say, oh, sometimes people came to lie to us and blah, blah, blah. No, there's been mistakes done on both sides. I'm telling you, I know. But look for me, Cicely, look for me. You see my face. This is America. If I dupe you, you can arrest me. Now the world
we're gonna take some moment of pause, and then we're gonna come back and start right back with this topic of how this looks right now in 2025 and some of the projects that me and you are working on together. So I want to give us some time to really deal with that. So I think let's take a break, and then we come back with the
coming back. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, this is the good stuff right here. We're getting into it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Okay, we are back and we are ready to roll. Dr. Na. Now look, this is getting to my favorite parts, but I want us to talk about two pieces. The economic things that we are working on. Also, I definitely want to get into the relationship part before we get up off of here. And I know everybody's interested in, matchmaking and, love in Africa. That was my thing, love in Africa. And these what I call intra-African relationships. So I want us to talk about why that's an important part of the building, the structures that we're talking about, and why we both have been examples of and working on building these healthy and beautiful intra-African relationships. So, but first, let's talk about the business. I want you to talk about how you linked up with the Gomorrah traditional area in Cape Coast with Nana and this delegation. I would like for us to do like a whole show about that sometime in the near future. But I just want to give the people just a little bit of, how you got into that, why it's important, and what we are doing.
Okay, so we're talking about what is coming up. Like we're giving you a little tease. I said, get excited if you black.
That's right.
That's right. Get excited, really. So, we have to have actions because I've been doing the talking part. But truthfully, when people are hungry, they don't hear you. When people are worrying about their shelter and their food, they don't hear you. Okay, it just your mouth is like this because their stomach is making noises. You cannot learn when you're hungry. Yes. So the truth of the matter is that my people back home, and somebody will say, "Why you have to say we need help?" Who am I gonna call on? Hey, I'm gonna call on you guys over here. Okay, I'm gonna call on you. And like I said, you can run away all you want, but remember, to whom much is given, much is expected. Okay. And I'm gonna pray tonight that the ancestors go and poke you in your sleep. Like wake up and go do something. Go and work with your people and do something. So to do that, we know that we have to come up with some economic structures, right? We have to change things. Sometimes so you have to be extreme. So to do that, who to go to down to the leaders? So I've had a friend for many, many years. His name is Nana Osunubo, and he's one of the chiefs in the area, Gomoa area, as Mrs. Lee talked about. This is a place in Ghana. But, you know, it used to be that they brought the tobacco, whatever. They came with the gun stuff to, you know, trick our people to give them what they wanted. And then, of course. So now these chiefs, they are not that type of a chief. You cannot fool them. You cannot dangle whatever for them to sell their people to you. They will not do that. So Nana is the leader of this particular group that I'm talking about. They're a group of chiefs. They have their own businesses. Some of them have lived in the West, so they know what they're dealing with. And they are back home because they want to develop their people. They want to create jobs. They want to do stuff. But they don't want to work with just anybody. They want to work with African Americans because you guys are our sisters and brothers. And we know that you know more about who we are dealing with. So we know that if we come to you, you will work with us. So that's why this opportunity is not open to anybody else, but our people over here, meaning you guys, my siblings. I call you my African American siblings, my diasporan siblings, right? So we are about to do some big things, but basically our goal is to take back Africa and take back our power. Okay. We people looking like us, we need to control our oils. We need to control our cocoa, our gold, our everything, tomatoes, cassava, whatever we've got, right? It's ours. So we are going to be starting businesses. Okay. And that is going to be funded by African Americans, those who see the vision that we have. The opportunity will be open. You'll be hearing a lot about it. Like she said, we're going to bring the chiefs. They're going to be on the screen. You're going to see them and talk to them. And understand that these people are educated. Okay. They are not, they have read about what happened and they're not about to repeat the same mistakes again. And I'm going to say this, and I keep saying that, and people are like, whoa, whatever. If you sit there and allow China to colonize Africa, shame on you. Because 20 or 30 years will come, and your children will be like, what was my mama doing when all this was happening, right? Well, I'm sure people said that the same way when slavery was happening. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's not near, whatever. Don't do it. Don't do it, because we will all pay for it, because this time it will be detrimental, okay? Right now, I'm deviating, but let me just say that right now in Ghana, because of all these illegal activities that this, you know, Chinese people are there digging the grounds and all these things, people cannot have decent water to drink. We are Africa, Mother Earth. Water should not be an issue, but people they cannot get springs from the ground and drink anymore because everything is poisoned by all this illegal digging. Okay, you're gonna say, who allowed them digging? Well, that's why you need to get closer to us so you can help us fix the problem, because we're not perfect. We have greedy folks. We have leaders who are not doing the right things. We know that. But how else are we going to change it if you don't come and help us? So a lot of people say, why you have to call on them for help? I'm calling you for help and step up on us. Oprah, I'm talking to you. All the big basketball players, you have all these millions of money or whatever. Listen, 100,000 can change a whole village. Why can't you own the systems producing cocoa? Why can't you own the system that is controlling digging the gold, you know, and the oil? Why can't you do that? But you have money.
So this is what we're getting into right now. Basically building the fundamental relationships and the structures and all of what we need in order to enact just what you are talking about. Now, the money will come from a variety of sources, and we welcome you to contact us so we can talk more about that, where you want to fit in. A lot of people contact us about they want to invest in Africa. Well, all we're doing is creating the network and the organizational structure for you to actually be able to do that. So this is something that we've been working very closely with the business community in the U.S. as well as Ghana, and we welcome all other Africans. We've had interest shown from Nigeria, possibly Zimbabwe, a few other countries. We love to hear from the UK on this. Basically all Africans everywhere. This is the time for us to look lively. They say that you don't sharpen your sword on a battlefield, but that doesn't take into the account the fact that we've been on the battlefield for a couple of thousand years. So it is what it is. We have to use what we have, and working with people like Dr. Nana Osunabor and myself, you basically going in the correct direction, So make sure if you're thinking about investing in a business or a project in Ghana, make sure you're a part of our network. Make sure you're a part of our web. We're not going to take your money. We're going to help you make more because we know what we can do, and that is what we can do. And I know there are other people doing not quite similar projects, but there are other things going on. And so we can give you feedback. We know a lot of people across the continent through our networks, and, definitely keep us in mind in terms of reaching out, mapping out the possibilities of what your money, even if you don't have a big money, we're setting it up to where people with $5,000 or less can also bring their resources together and still be involved in the project. So we want to have a whole show just dedicated to this topic alone, hopefully sometime in May. But for right now, I just want to give you guys a taste for that. And Dr. Now, we have people coming online. My background is my producer aspect. I'm still working on it, okay? But I do see some comments here from Sister Marine, from a brother, it looks like a brother from Serious About Credit, the Higher Learning Network TV show. They're giving us some energy online. Greetings and, welcome. And you see what we're working on here. We never joke, we look beautiful and we make it look easy, but we're not playing at all. Okay. So don't be mistaken with that one. So before we get out of here, I really want to get to our favorite topic, because this is how I met you when you were doing your podcast focusing on people who have relationships that are with one person that was born in America and one person that was born on the continent. And myself, I've been involved in that type of relationship for a long time. So we had a long conversation, went into my background, and that's how we really connected. So I want you to talk about your matchmaking thing, and just kind of how all of that fits in with building a stronger Africa in general. Oh, and let me just say, I too do matchmaking, but not on the level like what you have a whole thing set up. So I want you to talk about, the Black Queen show, and how you guys are moving into, services and making real life connections amongst people who want to be connected.
All right. And of course, me, myself, I love to talk about love. I mean, love is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's like, I know it's a beautiful thing. It's better to go through life with somebody. Our African people, this is one of the reasons why we got into trouble. African folks, we love people. That's why when they came, you know what I'm saying? They extended the Bible, and we took the Bible, and then they're holding the gold, and we're still holding the Bible, right? But let's not go there. But what I want to say is that to be able to really do, complete the mission that I and Cicely and all the chiefs that are connected with our network, to be able to do that work, we really need to come to understanding. We have to come to the table. Okay. And what better way to do that than through love? Okay. So the Black Queen show talked about, I did talk to, a series of people who are in that type of a relationship to see how it's working. And then, in addition to that, I was doing some researches and, me, myself, from my cultural background, trying to figure out how this intermarriages can work. Yes. Because there are horror stories out there,
Oh, yes.
The truth of the matter is that the way the Black woman is in America right now, if you take them and to an African man, that's disastrous. It's not gonna work. Okay, because over the 400 years, so many things has happened to our sisters over here. I'm telling you, some of these sisters, I just have to talk them down because they're angry. They have the right to be angry. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you be so angry, you are chasing away the good thing that's coming to you. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
So what we're coming up right now is it's gonna be intermarrying, but it's not just any type of intermarrying dating format. It's strictly for Pan-Africans, because you have to be able to engage on a whole different level. You cannot be a sister here who just try to hold the man down, like hold the chain to their neck. Where are you going? Whether the African man was a warrior, so you cannot hold them down like that. And you know what happens when you do that? When you hold an animal down and you release, they just go. So that's not how to deal with the African man. I'm not saying that the African man is not naughty. They are not perfect. They got their issues. Same with the African woman too. We all have stuff that we have to go through. Yes. But we want to make relationships work, because when you have a child with somebody born in Africa, you're home. You cannot stand by anymore and watch another person come and abuse us, because now what? You are what? Vested in Africa. So that's the goal. We want to encourage a lot of intermarriage, but on the platform that I'm going to have, it's called Diaspora Meets Africa. I'm getting excited already because a lot of people have shown interest, but we are actually going to be working with people who are back in Africa. They're not looking for love for green card. Relax. Because the platform, if anybody is, we're going to do some background check and things like that and do some quizzes, investigate them to make sure that you have the right mindset. We're not looking for the people going to be on the platform. The Africans on the platform are not going to be looking for green card. Some of them, or most of them, are going to be okay with where they are in Africa. Do you know that there are people in Africa who don't want to come to America? You all never know that, right?
Right.
There are people in Africa, they're like, no, I'm okay. I'm good here. I don't want to go. Because yes. they know what's happening here is just glorified slavery. That's all it is. That's life in America. I just came back from Ghana about a month ago, and I'm like in this confusion because it's like, what am I? I'm in dead space right now. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not easy. It's not easy.
There is no life here. People just go to work and come home with dark, robots, right?
But that's exactly why. That's why it's important for us to make this connection, because whatever it is, because we got to get something from America, whatever that is, if we don't really plug it into the continent, it doesn't work as well for us. It doesn't grow for us. It doesn't create stability for us. If I didn't have, Ghana and Africa to me as my foundation and my back, I would be miserable and depressed like so many of the people, here are. They say the average person that's 50 in America is taking 12 pills. 12 pills, the average. The average person here is suffering with all manner of metabolic disorder, including depression, high blood pressure, all kinds of, disease, and it's uncomfortable. But when I feel my people and my family, under me, they are. I'm standing on the strong foundation of the continent. Not only does it help my blood pressure, but it just helps me to stay more grounded, which gives me what I need to move forward with whatever it is I have to do here. Because I go back and forth, but I prefer to be in Ghana, as everybody knows. But sometimes you have to come here. And even with that, if you build the relationships, you can still find a way to make it, work and be successful at what it is that you want to do. So we just want to encourage people, right? And like, I know there's a lot of horror stories. That's why I liked your show, because you are highlighting relationships that are beautiful, people who are content in their relationships, people who have found joy in their relationships. And I'm just glad to be, in that number. So, yeah,
Well,
it's a
I
lot of
really
good
admire
things.
you for that. I admire
Yeah,
you for that. Because though you are a strong woman by all sense, you've also managed to have a relationship with a man who was born in Africa. You have made it
yes,
work many years. So
yes,
that's a testament that it can work. But I
yes,
think one misconception is that being a strong black woman means that you have to be against the black man. No, 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 no. The black men
right,
that I knew, the African men that I grew up with, they were doing right. And I'm not going to say the brothers here are not, because there's a history. You see, you always have to go back. And when I
right,
say people think I'm excusing, I'm not excusing. In America, there's something called psychic wound. I don't know if you guys have read much about it, but I truly believe that people who are descendants of slaves, they've been traumatized so much that they come back with more trauma that they need to solve.
yes,
I'm a culture that believes in reincarnation. Okay, if you come to this world and it's horrible, think about it. I mean, you have a child and they dragged and taken away from you. A woman will go crazy in these days. But slaves had to endure this. So imagine this kind of pain. Man, you die, you come back with it. So we have to do healing. But, we have to do healing. There's so much healing that needs to be done from everybody. If you're an angry black woman, you need to ask yourself, why am I so angry? Come talk to me. Come talk to me simply, right?
yeah,
We're trying to do a lot. There's so much that's going to be happening. So on the platform, there's going to be a language portion where you can get to reclaim your language. We're going to teach you.
oh,
There's also
nice,
going to be learning skills about how do you talk to an African man? How do you talk to an African woman? How do they talk to American, so that you can come to understanding? Because there's going to be challenges with words, trust me,
oh,
because
man,
they're going to look at about
that's a
72
big
different
one.
languages. So, we're going to have that portion. And then, of course, it's going to be a continuous thing, checking in with couples, making sure that, we want to be referee, right? We'll be referee on the side. So if you start coming across some conversation, like, nah, I ain't got you. No, what is he talking about? Come to us, so we'll be with you along the line. And we're going to make sure that your trip back to Africa is going to be safe. Please don't get scammed. There's bad people everywhere. There are bad people in Africa, bad people in America, Europe, everywhere. Don't get scammed. Try to make sure you're connecting to the right source. There's a lot of people who are offering all kinds of things in Africa. Don't do that. I know Miss Cicely. She knows where I come from. I've seen her in my country. So we know what we are talking about. There has to be a trust for this to work. So first, you got to trust us. Let's build. If you're looking for a good African woman, a good African man, and my sisters and my brothers, we have to tweak a little bit. Because, we Africans, we don't do too well with the anger and all that. So you got to come, you have to come with us, But let's come, join my show, come, let's talk more. My information is with Cicely. You can connect and you can get on the platform for a fee. But the people you're going to meet in there, they've been investigated from back home. We know they are who they say they are, and what they are doing, we know they are doing that. So, and they're not in a rush for a green card. As a matter of fact, the platform, if they talk about green card, they're going to be flagged and they're going to be dropped from the program. Okay. So you can be confident that somebody is loving you for you and not for a green card. Okay. So that's what this platform is going to be offering you. You're going to hear more about this on my Black Queen show. A lot in the works are coming, right?
So now we have two, okay, at least 3 or maybe 4 shows just coming from this conversation, because we have to dig into this relationship piece. I know myself, I have a lot to offer in that regard. And, one of my younger cousins asked me, she said, you've been on the continent, give us some of what you learned about conflict resolution. And so that's something that I really do want to share. I think people can gain a lot from it. And I definitely want to dig into, this platform you are creating, and let's talk about that. So we're going to have a economic show and a love show. That's on my platform. And then hopefully we'll be doing the same thing on yours. And let's just keep, African love and African power in the center of our conversations. I just appreciate you so much for being available.
I love you. It's not even appreciating. I love you.
Right?
I love you. I love you. For real. I mean, it's amazing. People don't understand. We are connected to the internet, but it's like I'm telling you guys, you got to believe in something. I know we live in a scientific world and but trust me, the ancestors, they are in our blood and they are still working. So me and Miss Cicely, we were some warriors. We were some warriors back in the days, and we fought and they knocked us out, but we back.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. That's right.
Back. Yeah.
I love it.
People really, I mean, wherever you are, African people, if you smile at them, they'll smile back. It's just that there's been so much fear put in them. Listen, I'll tell you something that will surprise a lot of African Americans. When when the refugees come to America, right? Some of them were told, don't get close to these people. That means you don't get close to them because they're violent and they're blah, blah, blah. So they were told. So in the back of their mind, they're like, I need to stay away from those hoods and that kind of stuff, right? So now I'm going to ask you guys to do something. Reach out. When you see somebody who's speaking with a different accent and you know this person is not born in America, please smile at them. It's your sister. It's your brother. It's your blood. Right?
That's right.
I'm not saying African people, I'm not saying you should go to the hood right now and start playing over there, because we need to do some work before you get there, because, you cannot handle it, right? Because that's what sometimes people are saying, okay, are we them or are they really us? Because of the distance, right? But slowly, we're going to come together. We're going to do businesses that are going to be able to give us the money we need so that we can put people into programs that will heal their soul, right? Rejuvenate them, because we are good people. We are good people. Yes. Nobody is just born to be a criminal. The world teaches you how to be, and sometimes you harden as a result of that, right? So, so much is coming. Like I said, get excited because today is a good day. This is together with Black Queen. We're doing things, and start saving your money. Start saving your money. But before I go, I want to say something real quick now. The financial aspect that I do over here is very important to me, because though I was in school for 12 years to become a cultural anthropologist, my own lack of financial knowledge hurts me a lot. And I have to say that there's some good things about this country. You can be your own wealth maker. With all these bling, bling, blings, please, I beg you. I know it looks nice. And I can tell you the psychology of why Black folks like to spend their money on bling bling when they get paid. It's part of our psychology, but you have to come back to hear more about that, because, I'm not going to give away all my secrets. But it's time that we kind of slow it down on those. The gold is in Africa. The diamonds are over there. Put your money together. Let's build and let's dig out the diamond ourselves. Then you can even afford it even. We can bling all we want after that. But for now, please, start saving your money, okay? And reach out. Yeah. So the financial aspect of my position when I coach people, right? From poverty to wealth. So you have to reach out. I mean, you don't have to be a millionaire to have a financial coach. Everybody needs a financial coach, right? So just come. I don't charge for my services. I educate you and I help you to get the best you can get. But my goal is to leave you in the situation that even if you die, if you get sick, if you live to 100 years old, my goal is to make sure that you're going to be secure financially, right? There's nothing that says 67 or 62 is the age of retirement. There is not written in anybody's blood. Trust me. You can retire at 30 if you know what you are doing starting from age 18 or even when you are 5 years old, right? It's all about, little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So please come and learn. I want you to make the money here, grow it, save it, secure it, so that you can help your people back home and make sure that we are going back to the times when Egypt was it. And when our people, Mansa Musa, when they were the it of the world. That's what we're going to right now. Okay. So be part of the movement. This is a movement. It's just not a it's a
very
movement.
Exciting.
Diaspora meets Africa. That's what it's all
about. Very exciting. Guys, stay tuned to the Female Solution. Stay tuned to From Seed to Systems. Thank you, Dr. Na. We appreciate you so much. And until next time.
I'm coming back. You'll be seeing me, everybody. So I love to hear more. If nobody reaches out to me, I'm gonna come find you people.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Truly, I love you. I love you.
Love
you are
you,
awesome.
love you,
Thank
love
you
you.
so much. All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Okay. And that is a wrap.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.